Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, Colton.
I'm just wondering, we didn't get a chance to ask Saturday, but how do you think Jaden and Max played coming off injuries?
Uh, to get out there physically, I thought it was, um, you know, they really wanted to be out there for the team. Um, I think they both thought Max ran hard. Um, that was a good way to finish, the last first down. Thought Jaden, I didn't notice any limitations in how he played because of his injury, and I thought he was really dialed in mentally. Definitely some things we can improve on and grow with, but his mindset, I thought, I don't think the knee was something that bothered him.
Was Max a little bit I know he likes to, throw the left stiff arm, and was he a little bit affected in that area? Not being able to utilize that left stiff arm as much.
I don't know that I could answer that. I didn't notice any ball security issues or anything like that. And I didn't notice that he loves the left stiff arm. Is it just the left stiff arm, or is there a right stiff arm, or no, it's only the left?
Well, a little of both, just when he's carrying with his right. I know he's, got a good stiff arm, but
Maybe you're onto something. That's all. I know he used it, but I think he used it on that last run a little bit. I didn't see it as a real effect to his ability either, to be honest.
Gotcha. Before the Cal game, you said you had to, do a little evaluation of the offense. What'd you kind of deduce needed to shift, and where did you see progress against Cal?
Gave some new looks, a few new wrinkles. Tried to put our guys in good positions of getting the ball to them. Thought they executed it fairly well. Different personnel groups, formations, some motions. Just dress it up a little bit.
Was that maybe the best game for the offensive line as a whole unit, and what did that unit kind of do well against Cal?
Well, I think they played better. I think we can run the ball better, though. It's hard for me to say that that was our best O-line performance without really kind of going back and thinking about it. I thought they played better as a unit. I'm trying to think. I just think the offense, there's a lot more. We can take another step and get some more explosive plays and be more detailed and execute cleaner. And there was more than that on the offensive side of the ball than defense. Defense was quite an impressive performance. The way they played, how hard they played. Justice Rogers looked like an inspired player. All the edges that made plays, the ability, the effort, the collective effort throughout that game was it was fun to be there in person, but it was also really enjoyable to watch on film.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right, Coach, next question is going to be Jamie Vinnick from Coug Fan. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hi, Jimmy.
It may sound like an obvious question, but just to kind of confirm, is the plan right now to continue with Jaden at quarterback?
Yes.
And then completely unrelated to that, I asked last week kind of about the freshmen and hitting that 4-game threshold, and I believe Francisco, Andrew, DeJean, and Nick all hit that. Understanding injuries can change things, but do you anticipate anyone else getting to that place where they can't redshirt?
I think it's hard to say that right now. I would expect someone else or more players to get to that. Everyone develops at a different and are needed at different times. So it's hard to say that. There's not a hard cap on, okay, we made this decision. The 4-game redshirt rule is one of the best rules the NCAA has made for the development of young players and keeping them dialed into getting better. That word redshirt can be frustrating for young players, and when you don't get a chance to keep practicing or have a chance to play in a game or maybe find some roles on special teams. I think it was a really, really good rule, and try to use it to our advantage as much as we can.
You mentioned Jaden, and he played a solid game on Saturday, the 2 picks notwithstanding. How do you kind of, as a coach and as a former quarterback, not take away his desire to kind of sling the ball around, but also to kind of limit those picks and those deep overthrows?
Wanted to take a shot on the deep one. That kid made a really good play getting out of the middle, covered a lot of ground. He had done that against Nevada also, but felt like it was time to take a shot. The second one, there probably is a little bit more learning to it for Jaden and what he may do differently next time. But I don't want to take away any part of his or any other quarterback's calculated gunslinger mentality. I think that's got to be pretty constant in the type of offense that we run.
And then lastly, you mentioned last week, I think, that Khalid Jabril was getting closer. Do you have a newer update on him, or still just kind of working back?
Yeah, I think I don't think that he'll be, he's closer obviously than last week, but George came in and played and has done a really, really good job. Made some solid tackles. I think he plays with energy, playing with more confidence, with the position shift. I think team counting on him, that all feels good. So it's good to see him make some plays.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, Coach, next question is going to be Drew Michelson from King 5 TV in Seattle. Go ahead, Drew.
I can't hear Drew.
Let's go.
You hear me now, Coach?
Oh, yes, I got you, Drew.
Drew Mickelson, King 5. Thanks for your time, Coach. Today's the last day state employees can get vaccinated in order to comply with the governor's mandate unless they've qualified for an exemption. Have you been vaccinated or granted an exception?
I'm still following the process that's laid out. I'm going to kind of leave it right there, Drew. But I appreciate you getting on and asking.
These notices are being sent out to state employees who have not presented their proof yet. Have you received one of these notices? What can your
I don't know.
followers
I don't know what you're talking about with that. So
should fans be worried about you remaining the coach in 2 weeks when this deadline comes up?
I don't think so.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, next question is going to be Brenna Green, Spokane TV. Go ahead, Brenna.
I'm just kind of following up on that. Do you know if there's any coaches on your staff right now that are either any other coaches on your staff right now that are either kind of questionable for that October 18th deadline of continuing on with your staff, or will not be continuing on with your staff past October 18th?
Okay, ask that again, Brenna.
Okay, so do you know right now if there are any coaches on your staff that are either questionable in terms of staying on staff past October 18th in terms of that man point, or will not be staying on staff past October 18th because of the mandate?
I don't plan on losing any staff, if that's your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Coach, next question is going to be Barry Bolton, Coug fan. Go ahead, Barry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Nick, John Wilner of the Mercury News in an article today on the vaccination topic cited clauses in your contract and said you've chosen to risk your career and life's work. Do you feel you're risking your career?
No.
Again, if you have any questions for Coach Rolovich, please raise your hand and we'll call on you. Last chance. All right, Coach, next question is going to be Colton Clark, Spokesman Review. Go ahead, Colton.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about a little more about Oregon State.
Yeah, let's talk about Oregon State, Colton.
They had it seems like their offense, progressed, of course, in the rushing game and ranking way up there nationally. How are they kind of finding success in that? Is it just kind of that power game? Does it look like?
Well, I think Coach Smith deserves a ton of credit. He's stayed the course. He's had, ups and downs in the building of his program. I think he's an excellent X's and O's situational coach. They're always, even a couple of years ago, they are very prepared for end of game situations. I think they've been creative in those situations. His staff has stayed together and they believe in the process. And I think they're really seeing the fruits of their labor and consistency, developing players. You look at them defensively, offense is very good. But I think they're also tightening it up this year. Defensively, I think they are not, they're very physical up front. They are very tied together. They are very understanding of what each one of their roles in the defense is. I think they like playing together. And they are very good. And it's a credit to him and that staff and those players for building it to the place where it is. I think they have confidence, offensively running the ball very well. A bunch of good offensive minded coaches on that staff. The running backs are talented. O-line's playing together. It's not a team where you can say, there's the weakness. They play hard. And I think all qualities leading to why they're winning football games and playing well. And sitting where they are in the standings.
Does it seem like in their rushing game, it's a little bit more between the tackles, or is it, outside kind of?
Yeah, I mean, but the motion, whether you call it fly sweep or jet motion stuff, I mean, they give you those problems formationally, but they can run downhill now. And I just saw some. I think must have been in the Washington game. Maybe that last touchdown, pretty impressive lateral movement by the young man. And they run unafraid, and quarterback does a nice job getting them to the plays they want, has enough legs to scare you. And there's enough soundness to the passing game, and they know how to attack defenses. So I think they're a very complete team.
And to what extent do you think this will be kind of a measuring stick for your rushing defense and I guess your defensive front in particular? How do you think those guys have developed over the last few weeks?
Well, we've seen improvement in some games, and then more desirable play in others. But it's a great challenge. It's a perfect challenge I think this team needs to see if we can compete with one of the best. Coming off a win, felt like we took a step mindset wise, and now knowing you have a good team coming in, and if the defense can play with that kind of effort and tackle the way they did, and there's a lot involved with stopping the run, but also staying disciplined when the play action comes, or a little bit of some of their nuances come into play. Communication with the motions and all that stuff is important, but I think the defense should have a lot of confidence the way they played, and I sure was proud of them. Offensively, we got to be more consistent. We can't just go dormant for a little bit, and we got to be consistently good on third down. When you're good on third down, we're playing better. And the first half and second half differences were pretty big there on our side last game. And that's where Oregon State is very good on third down. They're very good at, getting touchdowns in the red zone. So again, I think that all goes back to a good head coach emphasizing those situations and surrounding himself with guys and girls who believe in his vision. And I think it's going to be an exciting game. It's a good challenge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Coach, the last one will be from Scott Hansen, Seattle Times. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Coach, were you surprised that you could hold an offense that had been playing as well as Cal had to 6 points? And has your expectation for the rest of the season for that unit changed based on what you saw last Saturday?
Well, it was a good performance, and Cal had done a lot of productive stuff offensively. it was definitely needed, helped us win the game. I think the team itself, initiated by Coach Dickert and their expectations and standard has been absorbed by the players. And so I think their expectations of themselves is high, and they play like it. That would be wonderful. We need to keep pushing the offense to get more points on the board and not turn the ball over as much. I think that would help us, but no, there's defense. I think it's going to be a great challenge for them. We got, I believe, the #1 scoring offense coming in. Yep, #1 rushing team. So, and I think our defense is in a mindset where that would be something they would not be afraid of, I guess, and play hard, and that's just my gut about their where their mindset is.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.